Welcome back to the Total Focus Podcast. I'm your host, Paul. Our sponsor of the week is Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. They are the photography and videography specialist that can help you get the job done if you're looking for wedding photos, special events, wedding videography, commercials, you name it. If you need a video or a photo project, they are the team to call. So we appreciate Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions for sponsoring our episode. Our special guest this week is Alexis Altenburg. She's the current reigning defending Princess America Maryland Teen 2020. And I'm so excited to have her on the show. At the young age of 17, she owns her own foundation, dress company, has had several pageant titles, had the experience of competing in Maryland Teen USA, and has so many things to look forward to in the future. And she has so much advice for younger kids that want to compete for. So if you're considering or you're on the fence about competing in a pageant, I think that Alexis is a perfect person to look up to and a perfect young lady to really use as a role model for someone that wants to really just achieve the next level or be motivated to go out there and live her best life. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and please stay tuned. And welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey, it's great to have one of my newest friends on the show, and I was really excited to finally have the opportunity to interview you. I haven't had a lot of teen contestants on the show, and I'm really excited to broaden the show. So thanks for coming on the show, and thank you for being a follower and a listener as well.
Well, I'm really excited to get started today.
Yeah. So why don't we tell all of our listeners more about you? So, what's your current title?
I'm currently the Princess America Maryland Teen.
That's awesome. And when did you get your title?
I received my title in February.
So just newly crowned. That's awesome.
Yes.
So under the climate, what was the original pageant for nationals? Is that going to be June or July for nationals?
Yes, nationals is in July in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, awesome! So that must be exciting. Is that have you been to Orlando before?
Yes, last year. This will be my second year participating with this system.
Oh, so you've competed in the system before. Awesome.
Yes, last year I had the West Virginia title.
Oh, okay. So is this a system you think is a great starter system or just a good system to really grow in?
This system is definitely a good one to grow in. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite systems. It's a week long. You meet a lot of amazing girls there. They're just doing some really great things, and you learn a lot throughout the week. And then on the last day, you compete, and you just have so much fun that you almost forget that you're getting ready to compete. So when you do on Friday, it's just you have to really get yourself focused in the competition mode. But it's just a really amazing system, whether you've been doing pageants for 5 years or it's your first pageant.
Well, I have a lot of friends that have competed in this specific system and then gone on to USA and then win USA titles. So I have a great feeling that this would be a great system for someone to really learn the ropes and really do successfully. And then, who doesn't like to take a vacation to Orlando? So
yeah, a lot of the misses that come back, they have been previous teens in the USA system. And also, if you are to win this system, you're encouraged and allowed to compete in the USA system, even if you have this title, a state title, or a national title with it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So it's really like in a partnership with the USA system then?
Yes.
That's cool. So let's take it back. So how did you get into pageantry, or were you more doing sports when you were younger? and or doing music? Like what really started your path on to doing pageantry, or what's the reason for doing pageantry?
When I was younger, I tried literally everything: karate, sports, music. I just was trying everything. I never really found anything that I loved. So when I was the beginning of my junior year, I tried a West Virginia Fairs and Festivals pageant, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I just met the sweetest girls there, and I just loved what was behind pageantry. So from there, it's just really taken off, and it just kind of became my life as pageants.
Is there a difference from a festival pageant than a traditional like pageant that is held, on a stage than being held on a private party or a festival that's a short weekend event?
Um, I would say yes. The difference is with a fairs and festivals pageant, it's only 1 day long, and you do things throughout the year, but mainly what you're doing is you're just there for your festival that comes up, and you're supposed to be there the whole weekend and just promote your festival throughout the year. Rather with other systems where you're doing projects throughout the year and maybe you're competing for nationals, but fairs and festivals does have a nationals too. For the there'll be the Miss Fairs and Festivals.
Oh, there is. See, that's something that
Yeah.
that's something that even myself doesn't know. So you could legitimately wear that title and not feel foolish to go to a public event and be Miss Local Anne Arundel fair then, and that wouldn't look foolish then, I guess.
No, because that's the systems that in West Virginia and Virginia that they do. There's everything from the Cupcake Queen to the Roadkill Festival Queen. I think in both states there's about 50 different titles
Oh,
that you
that's
can
cool.
win.
Because I'm
So yeah,
I'm
it's different, but
no. I mean, it's not. I have friends that have done the watermelon festival queen, and they represent the Watermelon Association. So I'm aware of that smaller pageant system. I don't know if you're familiar with that system, but I assume it's something similar to that. So, are you more representing farmers if you're doing the festivals like that, or are you representing a more broader?
it just depends on which one that you do, because
Gotcha.
some of them, like I only personally participated in two of them.
Gotcha.
And one of them, for example, is the Sweetheart Festival, and then that one wasn't actually an agriculture festival. So it just depends on what title you go for with that
It
kind of
it
systems.
it sounds the name would sound be perfect if it was like strawberries or cherries. That'd be like a perfect name for an agricultural pageantry. But
Yes.
hearsay, that's hearsay. No, nothing. So you're hooked on that. What's your first real pageant you decided to compete in then?
It was the high school West Virginia pageant, high school and collegiate
You
pageant.
did the
But I,
collegiate pageant. Okay.
yes.
How did you enjoy the collegiate pageant? Because I know I have several colleagues that have are currently are competing in it, and they love it. So what was your feelings on the matter?
I think it's a really good system. There was definitely a lot of amazing girls there. I love what the pageant stands behind, the brave, and just that it really promotes for girls to not only just be pretty, but to be smart and to be kind. Just kind of be the whole package, to be the best you that you can be. So that's why I really like what that system stands behind.
Do you like the idea that they're not focusing on your designation of being a teen? They're more focused on education, and you get a high school title. Does that seem cooler to you, or do you like the idea of having a teen title?
I like the idea of it being a high school title.
I think that it's kind of cool because it's so unique because everyone else just gives out a teen title, and it's so, it's does it make you feel special to have something that's so different?
Yes, I like those titles because I think that then it can celebrate not only just your accomplishments you're doing in the community, but your accomplishments that you do in school, things that maybe people may not really know about or may not have gotten recognized or getting recognized because you're not just being recognized as a teen, but as a student.
Do you think you will go back after you're in college and do the collegiate so you have one of each?
I don't think so because I actually plan on taking more of some different educational classes instead of just going to traditional college.
Okay. But wouldn't that still make you eligible if you wanted to compete again?
I actually it might.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey,
I really looked into
higher
it.
education is always, so, it doesn't matter. If you're going to do higher education, I encourage you to do that. So that's definitely a good thing on your side if you're deciding to do that. So you there?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's okay. So, yeah. So how many years did you do collegiate then?
Well, I only did that pageant one
You
time.
only did it once, okay?
Yep.
And then what? What was your
And then that
next?
was my last pageant in West Virginia. So then when I moved to Maryland, um, I did the East Coast pageant, which was more of just a runway pageant. And then when I went to nationals for that, then it went into a traditional pageant. So that was a bit different for me. I wasn't really expecting how it was, but it was a lot of fun, but it just wasn't really what I was looking for.
Now is that a new system? Because I ran into the young lady who was Miss East Coast Maryland, and I had her on the show, and I wasn't very familiar with that system. Is that system just a couple years old?
Yes.
Okay. And were you thinking to take that just because it's practicing your modeling skills? Is that because you specifically said it was a runway pageant?
Yes, that was it was for me to get some practice on stage since I haven't had as many years of experience as most girls with pageants. I thought that it would be a good way for me to get some more on stage experience.
And did they change the rules at nationals then?
Yes, so then at the state pageant, it's just runway. But then whenever you go to nationals, they also add an interview and then they add in some different talent competitions. You actually get to pick what competitions you participate in, so that's a bit different.
Well, I would say that's really different because how do you judge people if everyone's doing something different? So that must be a
Yeah.
very confusing way to pick a winner. Did you feel like surprised or shocked with the course of actions that happened there?
Honestly, yes. It wasn't really what I was expecting. I was a little bit confused about how some people got to do some things, but
I mean, I'm confused. I'm completely baffled that you're competing with people that aren't okay.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
different.
I guess that's the reason why you didn't go back either, because like I wouldn't say that would be fair either. So that's very to me that sounds like what they're doing with Miss America, where they keep on changing the rules. Because that's my bone attention when it comes to Miss America is they keep on changing the rules, and they're changing the rules within the same year, which is really not fair to anyone who competes. So
Yeah, it is a bit difficult to keep up with all the different changes in
I
Miss America.
I
I feel like
know.
more seeing new things.
I know, and that's the scary part. It's like because it's a sport, and rules just help to know how you win, and if you don't know the rules, how do you win, right?
True.
Right.
I'm not
So
sure.
go ahead. No, what were you saying?
Oh,
What were you saying? Well, you were gonna
oh,
make a
never
comment.
mind.
Oh,
You
okay.
can go.
No. So you only did that pageant for 1 year, and then are you now? Is that where we are now on to Princess, or did you do another one?
No, then I did Maryland, USA.
Oh, you did Maryland, USA. Okay.
Yes.
So how was that experience? Was that something that you've always wanted to do? Was a great experience?
It was a great experience ever since I first started pageants. When I first started, honestly, I didn't think that I was going to do big pageants like that. So to get to walk on that stage was absolutely amazing.
I mean, you say that. Are you saying that you were kind of doubting yourself that you could compete at that level, or you thought that you needed to practice and learn the skills to be better prepared for that type of
Yes.
performance?
Because truthfully, when I started pageants, I wasn't your typical pageant girl. I wasn't real girly. I didn't wear heels and everything. If you would see me now, that'd be kind of hard to believe because I basically live in heels. But when I first started pageants, I couldn't even really walk in heels. So to look at all those girls on stage like that, I was just like, oh, that is not going to be me.
Well, do you feel
But
that
pageant,
Well, do you feel that you have to be that way, or do you believe that you can't be a tom girl and wear flats and not do makeup? And do you not think you could still win that title? Do you think you have to conform?
after doing pageants, I absolutely do not believe that anymore. I
Okay.
don't think that there's any typical pageant girl anymore. There's no certain things you have to do. There's no certain way you have to be. I mean, there's been USA girls that haven't worn makeup in their headshots. There's some USA girls that probably you wouldn't catch them in heels unless they had to be. So I just believe that they're not looking for a specific type of person anymore. So if you're going to do pageants, no matter how you are, you should just go out there and be yourself because the judges aren't looking for like a cookie cutter pageant girl anymore. They're looking for somebody that's like true to themselves and goes up on the stage in an interview and shows them their personality no matter how it is.
So do you so you're definitely in favor that if you're not a girly girl and you don't like to dress up, that if you put effort into it, you could still win as long as you show your emotion and show your personality and have a great cause.
Yes.
Okay. So are you saying that you could not, I mean, would you say that you were a tomboy then when you're saying that you were not a girly girl, like you're not dressing up and not wearing high heels?
Growing up, I was never a girly girl at all.
Okay.
So,
All right. So you were a tomboy. You like to,
yeah.
right. Okay. So are you saying that, are you, that's just not you now, or you think that it would be possible for you to compete that way? I mean, of course I would understand on stage that you would do your makeup, but I mean, you could still be yourself. You wouldn't have to be like on, like, as they say, on, 24/7. You could be like, when you're not in public, you could be yourself and not have to be like 100% glammed up. I mean, is that the feeling that you feel that you could have a title like that and still live a normal life?
I feel that you definitely, if you have a big title, you should care how you look when you go out in public,
Okay.
that you should present yourself respectfully and look neat, but you also don't have to always look like you're right off the runway every time you walk outside. But I definitely still think that there should be standards of how you present yourself in public.
Okay. So it's more responsibility with the title. Okay, so here's the question. Because you're the teen, so you're the new generation. So does the title make the girl, or does the girl make the title?
I think the girl makes the title.
Okay. And the girl makes the title by her attitude and her outfit or her poise, or what else?
By how she presents herself, um, how she looks, but by how she looks, I don't mean her beauty necessarily. I mean just how she wants to present herself, not going out every day just looking like a slob. You just need to look a certain way, I believe, and it's just what you do with your title. So I would definitely say that the girl makes the title, because you can have a really big title and not do anything with your title, and then it doesn't really mean anything. But you could have a small title and go out and do big things with it. So
You make a very fair point there. And they would say in wrestling, if you had a title and you never defended it, then it doesn't matter how respected the title is if you never. And I would say on the pageant side is that if you never make any impact or never talk to a senator or try to infect change, then you didn't make any effort using that title. So I commend you to I commend that you understand that at such a young age. So is that something that you've realized yourself, or do you have friends that have really, or family members that have really helped you to realize that?
I think that I've realized that from when I first started pageants, that I was doing smaller systems in West Virginia, and I was trying to do big things with my little titles. Even though, like, some little pageants that I first started off, people may not have known really what they were, but I still would take my title out there and go out and try to make a change in my community, just the same as I try to do with like my Princess America title, which people recognize. So I just think that I've learned that no matter what you have, or even if you don't have a title, that you should just keep on trying to make a difference no matter what.
Is it is it more of a fantasy, or is it really the truth that when you wear your sash and you go to a business owner or you're talking to a politician, they tend to believe you more and they listen to you and they give you more time?
I definitely believe that that is a real thing. That if you go somewhere with your title and you're younger, that they might take you more seriously than if you just walk in there without it and they're just kind of like, oh, this teenager's coming in here wanting stuff. They may not take you as serious if you come in there and you're like, oh, a pageant girl's coming in here. I truthfully do believe, because I've went to people trying to get help on different fundraisers with a title and without, and I have seen that people usually are more willing to listen to you or to help if you have your title.
Is that because of the legacy, or do you think it's the aura that it represents?
I think a little bit of both, because I think some of it is pageant girls kind of have a history of being serious about helping people and being responsible, that they have a lot of people associate pageants with a lot of good qualities. So I think that's part of it. And I also think to a certain degree, it's part of people being kind of curious. A lot of times they'll want to ask you about your title and about what you're doing. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Do you think it's also maybe the fact that we don't have a king and queen in America, and that um and we don't have a royal family, and pageantry is like a kind of like like a kind of like a tie to something that we don't have in America, but you know, but Americans love um, you know, what the royal family and the United Kingdom represent. Is that, do you think that is, or do you think that's just a stretch?
I think it. I can see that. I definitely can. I think that a lot of times, especially if you have your crown on, people are attracted to you to come talk to you, ask questions, just because they're attracted to like the shiny crown or the sash. So even if they don't really know too much about the pageant world, they're probably going to want to come figure out some kind of information about what you're doing, or like they'll come ask like, what are you? So I definitely can see that too.
Do you have a lot of smaller kids coming up and asking if you're a princess, or is that the normal conversation?
Yes. Last year, I actually did a fundraiser where it was Princess for a Day, where I was raising money for Give Kids the World. So I wore my crown and my sash, and I was there along with some Disney princesses were there to visit the kids. and I had just as many kids come up to me with my crown and sash on as the Disney princesses, wanting to take pictures with me or asking me if I was a princess. So I definitely think that kids do
So,
associate pageant girls with
of
princesses.
course. So do you feel that have do you feel awkward that younger girls or younger guys associate that just because you have a crown that you must be a princess, like a real princess, or do you or do you find that as to be like just giggles and laughter out that occurs? So
No, I actually enjoy it when younger children come up to me asking me if I'm a princess, because I believe that a lot of younger children look up the princesses. So it's a whole thing where if they're seeing me doing good, that they're going to think that they should do good too, because they look up the princesses as kind of a role model. So if they're thinking that you're a princess, then they're going to maybe copy what you're doing or kind of take some mental notes on it.
and do you think that that's important in society that we have that type of hierarchy or structure where you have someone that like that is relatable?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Um. So do you think that it's good that it's not like just because you're not on television or like in magazines. I mean, hopefully one day you'll have a big title and you have that, but like do you like the idea that you're more local and you might be able to be more approachable? Like do you at this point do you have fans that are like really so excited to see you and they come out to all your events? Or do you have other friends that talk about that?
Yes, I do. I'm friends with some of the. I haven't got to that point yet, but I have some friends right now that are currently Teen USA girls. So they kind of have like some little followers, some little fans, and they talk about how fun that is.
So is that something that you're excited to get to, or is that also maybe concern you that like with that responsibility also maybe come with fame and also a little bit of overwhelming, like people going to want your time all the time?
It's definitely something I look forward to, but it can be a bit overwhelming. Being a pageant girl, you always have to think what you're putting on social media, even watching who's commenting on your pictures, like what they post and everything, making sure you only have a good image to yourself. You have to make sure you watch how you are in public. Just you just have to make sure you're always putting your best self out there. So that can be a bit overwhelming, but nerve wracking.
I just wanted to take 1 second from this great interview and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you're planning a wedding, a special event, or you just need an amazing headshot, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443 422 3830. Again, that's 443 422 3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to the show and listen to this great interview. So how did you find the princess pageant and why did you decide to do that?
Last year, whenever I was getting my first headshots done, the girl that took me up there had been doing the Princess America system for 7 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
And she was just telling me about how much she loved it and how everyone was a family, which everyone at Princess America truthfully is a family there. And you just kind of stay family with all those people. But she was just telling me about how much I would love it and how amazing the director was. So I was actually in DC. I was living in West Virginia, but I was in DC with this girl, and I called my mom and was telling her all about it because she was in West Virginia, and was telling her about how I had to do this system. And the next day, we registered for the West Virginia title. So I started doing this system from word of mouth.
That's awesome. So would you at this point feel feel obliged to pass that word along to other people? Would you encourage other people to definitely join the system too?
Absolutely.
Is there a local director, or is there only a national director?
There's a national director.
Okay. So, do you like the idea of having just one national director, or would you like to have a state director too, or it doesn't bother you either way?
Normally, I think I would say have a state director too, but the national director is just so fabulous. He's always on top of everything. And I just feel like he's one of those people that can be in like 5 different places at once. So, just because of how fabulous he is, I would say that I'm happy with just having a national director.
Awesome. So, if they're very open to allowing you to compete in other systems, do you have do you feel that you would be open to it, or do you feel so connected to the system now that you wouldn't want to hold another title while you hold a title for Princess America?
The only other system that I would do is the USA system. That system is encouraged with this pageant. During the week in Florida, we do a little interview training, and we keep the pageant the same style as USA. Whenever the teens quit doing bathing suit in USA, the teens quit doing bathing suit at Princess America. It's almost like a practice system for USA.
Oh wow. So literally it's exactly the same rules, it's the same rigorous rules and etiquette and all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
do they lock you guys down too then? Is it as like intense as they do for Maryland, where they lock you up and there's only one time to see parents and that's it, and you're locked down for 2.5 days then for the pageant?
No, the pageant's 5 days long,
Oh,
and
it's
we get to
five
stay with our
days.
parents. Yeah,
Whoa, wow.
we get to stay with our parents. We always stay at a resort, and there's all kinds of activities that go on throughout the week. We get to visit Give Kids the World one day, which is just the best experience that anyone will ever have.
Isn't
And
that
we have
isn't that amazing? I mean, if you know a lot about it, I'd love for you to talk about it because it's such a lot of people don't know about that that facility in Orlando. So if you know anything about it, I'd love for you to talk about it because it's such a great organization.
Yeah, definitely. That's the main um, part behind Princess America. Princess America is actually a nonprofit, and all the money goes to Give Kids the World.
Well,
We have
that sounds even better. I would say that's even a better reason to actually compete in that system then.
Yes, the more you learn about Princess America, it just keeps getting better and better. We have a gala during the week where we raise money, a silent auction, and we all have to do a fundraiser for it. And whenever we go there, they give us a tour, and we get to help out with some activities for all the kids that Give Kids the World. And they pick a few princesses, a few queens that get to go meet some of the kids. But what Give Kids the World it is the Make a Wish version of Disneyland, where any kids that get to make a wish, then if they choose to go to Disneyland, this is where they stay. And it's a theme park. They have amazing cottages that they stay at. There's just about everything you could think of there. They have horse riding, they have a water park, they have all the rides. They have a 24-hour ice cream bar. Once a week, they have Christmas one day, they have Halloween one day, they have Easter one day. Each day has a different holiday theme. One day is a pirate theme. So it's just a week long thing that kids get to go to,
And
and
it's for
everything's
their entire
100%
family, right?
worth.
It's for the entire
Yes,
family, right? And
yes,
from what I've learned, it's all expenses paid, right? And it's all
yes,
fundraiser based. So it's an opportunity for the entire family to take a vacation with the sick child. And they basically baby them and give them anything they want. Is that the short and sweetest way to say it?
yes.
I mean, um, I can't imagine working in a place that can't. I mean, Disney World sounds like an incredible place, but this sounds like even better than Disney World because you're really making someone who's really sick feel so much better. So
Yes, it has all the magic of Disney, but just 10 times better. It's just an undescribable place. You can't even really explain to somebody just how you feel when you go there. It almost just makes you want to cry just how amazing it is there.
well, they
And just the
also
people that work there.
yeah, but they also do cool stuff where they have if I'm wrong, please let me know. But they have private meet and greets with Disney characters and Universal characters, um, and they do private readings with the kids and do story time. So, did you
Yes,
have
and
out? Go ahead, go ahead.
Disney allows Disney allows them to play unreleased movies in their movie theater there. It's a complete dream there. Everything that the kid wants, they make sure that they can get while they're there.
That's awesome. Did you have an opportunity to do story time while you're there?
No, we unfortunately did not.
Well, I would encourage you because it sounds like you're going to be a lifer. You should make that a bucket list item because I think you would get a good joy off of that. So I would encourage you to ask to do that because there's
Yeah.
nothing like reading to a bunch of kids that definitely enjoy hearing a good story. So
Yes, because while we're down there, we only have a certain amount of time and we're on a schedule.
of
But
course.
I plan on going down there on my own without the pageant again and becoming a volunteer this summer. So maybe I'll get to go down there for about a week by myself and get to do some more things that I wouldn't get to do.
I mean, I applaud you for that because it's such a great organization to volunteer for. So if you're going to volunteer for an organization, that is a great organization to volunteer for because um, one of the organizations that I volunteer for in Maryland is called Casey Cares, and they do events for kids that have cancer when they're um, very young, very similar to the same thing, but um, they do things locally. So I really I applaud you for doing that because I don't think that people understand that when you're sick starting your life off, you start your life off on the wrong foot. So I commend you for really trying to help them and trying to heal them. So
That's always been something that's been very close to my heart is helping
what
children.
what do you think what do you think your career is going to be? Do you think you want to be in healthcare or doing some kind of volunteering in that or is that just something that you're currently passionate to do?
My career is going to be with my dress shop, but
Okay.
I actually plan on opening up a nonprofit that help kids in foster care, which is another thing that's always been really close to me.
Mhm.
My two things right now that I've been doing, well, I've actually been doing these even before I started pageants, was helping kids with special needs and helping kids in foster care because those are two groups that I feel like sometimes get overlooked or people really don't do a whole lot for. And it's just been something that I've loved doing and I've built up. So one day I hope to be able to have a nonprofit and to help those kids in all kinds of different ways.
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to achieve that. So there's lots of great entrepreneurs that are able to run a very successful business and then also be able to have a non for profit that they also contribute money to and run successfully. So, I mean, the sky's the limits. So,
Yes.
I mean, you're only 17, correct? So,
Yes.
I mean, I'm you have so much the runway of life is so long for you. So, I mean, think big and think broad and, the like they say the world is your oyster. So,
Absolutely. I definitely do.
do you what do you think the end goal is when with the pageants? Do you are you going do you think that the end goal is just to win like a big title or win a Princess America national title or that's not the end goal? The end goal is just to have a lot of fun and just continue to compete every year or is there a third reason or
My end goal would either to have a USA title or the Princess America national title, and I think I'll keep working towards that until I achieve one of them, because I feel like that would really help me get my nonprofit off, because just you make so many connections with that, and I can make that my platform for the year. And I just feel like if I was to have a big title like that, I could really use that to expand my platform.
Well, I would really encourage you not to wait, and even if you only put $10 in, start it now, because from a judge perspective and from experience, looking at my friend Adriana, one of the things I know that she got high marks on from the judges is that she already had her not for profit. She was already raising money. She already was doing events. So her her reason for doing the pageant was already started. She wasn't starting it after the pageant. She was she was going to do it regardless if she won or lost. So I think that would probably make a big impact in the judge's eyes, that you are legitimately taking this seriously, and that the title isn't what made your not for profit. It's only adding to it. But that's just my 2 cents. I think that you winning a title is only but um, time and a little effort, and it will happen. So,
Well, it's definitely something that I think that what I was saying by that is having the title, it would help me expand more.
oh yeah,
But this
absolutely.
isn't something that I just started because of pageants. It actually kind of started when I was 3 years old, and I didn't even really at the time realize it. I made When I was in preschool, I met this little boy, and he had autism, and obviously I was 3, so I didn't really understand a whole lot about it. But I just knew that I wanted to be this kid's friend, and we're both 17 and he's 18 right now, and we're still friends to this day. And from the time that we met until last year when I moved, I was his buddy at the baseball challenger league, and I helped plan the autism walk every year. So that's kind of what started me in this direction. And then from there, it's made me want to kind of start to build up my platform with it, and I knew that that's what I wanted to work with. And then I brought the foster care system in, because when I lived in West Virginia, there was some lower income areas there, so there was a lot of foster cares. So with that, I started doing birthday parties monthly, because kids that are there, they don't really get their birthday celebrated. So every month I would come in and do birthday parties with the kids. So if your birthday was in April, then you would get presents, we'd play games saying happy birthday to you, have cake. And that was something I unfortunately had to leave in West Virginia, but somebody took it over, so that was good. But
But
they
you
wouldn't let me
already
do it.
built that legacy, which is so
Yeah.
impressive. I mean, man, looking at myself, like you've overachieved what I've done. Like, so impressive. Like, I'm legitimately like, what have I done with my life the last 37 years? Like, you're throwing parties for kids, um, literally half your age, and you're only 17. I'm like, that's really impressive. um, Kudos to you and your effort to really make a difference. So, that's definitely something you could definitely do, and continue to get other people to do. I mean, that's something that's very simple. Just throwing a simple party for people that, yeah, that's a great idea. So,
They're going to let me start it back up in Maryland, I believe, because in West Virginia, the laws were different there. Because here, you can't volunteer at foster care systems if you're under 18.
well,
So
that
I couldn't start that back up here until I was
well that
18.
that's a shame. I mean, that's a little I wow. I mean, that's a little. I wonder. I wonder why the law is written that way, because the foresight in that doesn't make any sense. Because if you're willing, able, and are wanting to volunteer, I don't see why your age has anything to do with it. I mean, um, most most people that are willing and able to volunteer are usually very capable people. So I'm shocked that age has to play a reason in volunteering. If you ever want to start a petition, I know you're going to be turning 18, but you should. I'm sure there are other friends that would want to volunteer in the future. So if you ever want to change that law, I'll be happy to sign a petition to change that law, because that law really, in my mind, doesn't make any sense. So I encourage you to continue to pursue your goals on that. So
I definitely am.
good. So your upcoming year, you have the Maryland title. Do you feel that because you're going into your second year in the system, how did your first year go? And do you think you're going to be more poised to do better this upcoming year because of that?
Absolutely. Last year, when I went into this system, it was my first really big national pageant. My first pageant with girls like this. All the girls here were just absolutely stunning, and they just had such good platforms. Everyone just had such a good heart here, and it was definitely the best group of girls I've ever been around, but they were also very competitive. So it was very I was very nervous the whole week, and it wasn't really what I was expecting. I had a fabulous time, but it's just I wasn't expecting for it to be this big of a pageant. So this year, with the experience that I've learned and the confidence I've gained over the past year, I definitely think I'm going to go in there and be a completely different person than I was last year.
And how did you do your first year? Did you place at least?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So this is an opportunity to really whitewash that first experience and really make a
Yes.
good impression. Well, good. I'm really excited for you for that.
I learned so much from those girls too. 3 girls from last year actually went this year and won their USA states out of the teens. So it's definitely a great system. Why I say whether it's your first pageant or you've been doing it for 5 years, because all the girls are so sweet and they're willing to help you and teach you what they know. Even though it's a competition, they're still all trying to help each other and make sure that everybody goes out there and does their best.
Does that personally put more stress on you that you know that you have top competition, or do you feel that you are in the right system to be sharpened like a knife and to be the strongest and most capable pageant contestant?
Last year it made me so nervous, and when I first went in there I had never competed in USA or anything big, and all the girls were talking about how what they placed in the USA the year before, and some of the misses had been on the Teen USA stage. So it was very nerve-wracking last year and I didn't like it, but this year I look at that and I'm looking at all the amazing girls I'm getting ready to compete against, and I just love it. I love that I'm going to have a lot of competition and be up there against some fierce girls, because I think that we learn a lot from each other and bouncing ideas off of each other. And I just love to hear about what ideas they've came up with, and I'm just really excited to meet all of these girls and to hear about what they've been doing the past year.
Well, it sounds like you're really positive. So 90% of it is mental. So I'm very
Yes,
confident that you're going to do even better this year. So just keep that mindset, and I'm sure you'll be great.
definitely. Thank you.
I just wanted to take one extra second and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Production. No matter if you're planning a wedding and you need a wedding videographer, you're doing a music video, or doing a commercial, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to this great interview. All right, so this is the part of the show where I let you take over the show. And I know we wanted to tell our audience all about you guys, a wonderful dress store and shop. So why don't you tell all our listeners about your organization?
Okay, so My mother and I recently, a few months ago, started an online dress shop called Dress Up With Us
Whoop whoop.
because it's fun to dress up sometimes. Our goal with our dress shop is not only to make sure that everyone looks fabulous, but it's also to make sure that all the women that maybe aren't used to dressing up or aren't really too sure what shoes to wear with that dress can be confident and look beautiful. We're not only just a dress shop that just lets you buy a dress, we're here for you. We offer different services. We offer rental for photographers. We're going to be working with fabulous photographers like Paul for for people that are getting pageant headshots or modeling pictures or any type of headshot where they may need a dress. So we can make sure that your wardrobe is on point for your pictures. We'll also be doing dress up parties. So if you have homecoming coming up, prom, or just a girls' night out and you're looking to get fancy, then you can go on our website and you can pick out the dresses you would like for us to bring. And we come and we set up with some snacks and some drinks of your choice. And we bring the dresses and you can try on the one that you want.
That sounds so awesome. I'm sure your mom would know what this means, but those are the old days where they do the Tupperware parties. But that sounds incredible. That's a great idea. So, if that came out of mom's idea, that's a great idea. I think that's bring some wine and champagne and some strawberries and do a dress up party. It sounds like a fun afternoon or evening.
We're definitely really excited to be able to get started on those.
And do you have any other ideas that you like to tell everybody are coming up?
Well, we'll also, as soon as this is over, we'll be doing some pop-up stores.
Cool.
And we might be popping up in your area. Nobody ever knows when we'll pop up. But, yeah.
Awesome.
So, there'll be some really exciting stuff that'll be coming up.
Well, I'm excited because I'm going to have both you back and your mom to talk all about your actual store. So I hope everyone stays tuned to our next episode talking about your guys' shop and talking about the whole reason. So I'm really excited to really delve into the dress company idea. So I'm really excited to sponsor and to work with you guys. So I will definitely encourage all of my listeners as well as all of my clients to definitely recommend renting clothing or even purchasing items from you guys directly. So
we're really excited to be working with you.
Oh, thank you. So do you have anything coming up that you're promoting with your title? Are you doing any fundraising, or are you playing virtual bingo? I know that's actually become a thing. Are you doing any Zoom training or anything for any of your listeners?
There will be a Princess for the Day party that will be coming up soon.
Cool.
But of course, the date has not been announced yet because we're not too sure when we'll be able to gather again. But whenever everything's all clear for that, then there'll be a Princess for the Day party happening.
That's awesome. So is that similar to what we had talked about, where you actually have people dressed up like Disney princesses and then you get to come as well? And
yes.
You do. That's awesome. So is that something you want to do once a month or quarterly, or?
That'll be the fundraiser for Give Kids the World.
Okay, awesome. So that sounds like a fun idea. Where do you think you guys are going to do that? Are you considering a spot yet, or is that still up in the air?
It's most likely going to be in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay. So is that by invitation only? Are you going to put out that, or how's that working?
It'll be for anybody who would like to come. We'll be advertising it online.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely make sure to keep our eyes out, and then you can also put that in your bio for to contact you about that. So
yeah, that'll be fabulous.
Yes, of course. Well, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show. if there's nothing else that you want to tell our listeners, then I will keep you to the hour that I promised you, and I will thank you for your time, and I will appreciate your insight. And I'm so excited for you, and wish you the best on your upcoming competition.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Hope everybody stays safe.
No, oh, I appreciate that too. You stay safe too. We're in a very troubled time right now, but I think that we will all come out. I think the sun will shine one day. So
definitely.
Alexis, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited to work with you and your family with the dress sponsorship, and I'm so excited for you to be on our show. And was so fascinated to learn more about you, and I'm so excited to help you along with your journey. I can't wait to you start competing in the Ms. category, and I'm so excited to be your sponsor and to help you with that. And I'm hoping that I get to see you win your national title, and I'm so thankful for all of these opportunities, and I'm thankful that I've been here at the beginning, and we'll see how things go. I want to thank all of our listeners for subscribing to our show. As you know, our show is both on YouTube and iTunes, so I appreciate the followers. Thanks for the thumbs up and the thumbs down. Everything's appreciated. The comments are appreciated. Please continue giving us feedback. Do not forget, we also have our movie review show with my co-host Yvonne Carlos, where we break down movies that we find to be just hilarious or just incredible, and it's called The Movie Breakdown. So I hope you guys please enjoy it, and please give us some more movies that you'd be interested in us for reviewing. And as always, please stay tuned.